At this moment, Xiao Yan could no longer pay attention to the creaking sounds of his bones within his body. He knew very well that the most important thing right now was the immortal emperor standing before him. Xiao Yan could clearly feel that the power radiating from this immortal emperor far surpassed that of the Xianling king. Facing such an overwhelming pressure, Xiao Yan clenched his teeth, stubbornly staring at the figure in front of him. A mere mid-4-star Do-D? The immortal emperor was evidently surprised. Hearing this, Xiao Yan's expression remained unchanged. He steadied his steps, rising from the crater in the ground, one step at a time. With his remarkable adaptability, Xiao Yan had gradually grown accustomed to the immortal emperor's pressure. At the very least, he no longer felt as though he was being crushed into the earth by the weight of 1,000 boulders. "It seems this boy won't become arrogant just because of our presence," remarked the Golden Dragon King, standing by, clearly satisfied with Xiao Yan's resilience. From within the ancient ruler of heavenly flames on Xiao Yan's back, Long Yi slowly nodded in agreement with the Golden Dragon King's sentiment. At this moment, Xiao Yan's body housed both the soul power of the Golden Dragon King and Long Yi, who existed as the weapon spirit of the ancient ruler. The Golden Dragon King had previously warned them not to offer too much help to Xiao Yan. Many paths he had to walk on his own. Long Yi agreed with this advice. But hearing the Golden Dragon King's relieved tone now, Long Yi, too, felt at ease. He put aside his pride as a dragon and prepared to fully assist Xiao Yan. After all, whether or not he could be reborn in the future depended on Xiao Yan. His entire fate now rested on this young man. Remember, 1,000 years ago, 2 experts tried to take my 10-star Do-D form. One was a perfect 6-star Do-D, and the other had reached the peak 8-star Do-D level. It's been 1,000 years. I wonder how strong those two are now. Although neither of them succeeded in claiming my 10-star Do-D form, they weren't without talent. I imagine they've become powerful figures by now. One of them was called Elder Zhu. The other, if I remember correctly, was the pavilion master of the Incense Pavilion, the immortal emperor mused. Xiao Yan, momentarily stunned, quickly regained his composure. He addressed the immortal emperor softly. "Senior Immortal Emperor, your name is renowned far and wide. I've come here today to see if I might claim this 10-star Do-D form." His calm voice echoed through the grand hall. In the next moment, the golden light surrounding the immortal emperor gradually dimmed, revealing his true appearance. Xiao Yan saw the immortal emperor's hair tied up in a simple knot, his deep eyes radiating with an unfathomable power. His plain, rustic clothing gave him a humble appearance, but the faint smile at the corner of his lips exuded a mysterious charm. Despite his simple attire, Xiao Yan knew all too well the terrifying energy that surged within this man. "Haha, you're quite a bold young man, daring to aim for my 10-star Do-D form." The immortal emperor chuckled softly, his voice filled with undeniable confidence. Although this was merely the immortal emperor's residual soul, it existed solely to guard the 10-star Do-D form. To claim it from such a formidable being was no easy task. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. "You've made it this far, so you're no ordinary person. But don't think that means you're qualified to claim my 10-star Do-D form. That would be far too naive," the immortal emperor said slowly. "Sigh," Xiao Yan exhaled softly. It seemed that without displaying his strength, there was no way he could obtain the 10-star Do-D form from the immortal emperor. "No matter what, I wish to give it a try," Xiao Yan murmured, his gaze fixed intently on the immortal emperor. At such close proximity, Xiao Yan could clearly feel the terrifying power emanating from the immortal emperor. That power felt indestructible, as solid as iron, truly worthy of the name immortal. "You've got guts, kid. But having guts doesn't guarantee success," the immortal emperor said with a laugh. He seemed to be reminded of something from his past. It was as if he, too, had once possessed such resolve. If it hadn't been for the extraterritorial evil clan launching a full-scale invasion during the internal strife of the 7 realms, the immortal emperor might not have perished. Still, he had no regrets. Though it had cost him his life, he had protected his homeland, and that was something to be proud of. "Show me your strength. If you earn my approval, the 10-star Do-D form will be yours." If not, then leave. Don't waste your time here. There are other Do-Di forms in the river of Do-Di that are still worth seeking, the Immortal Emperor said. Upon hearing this, Xiao Yan's expression grew solemn. The figure before him was a peak Do-Di powerhouse, someone who had fought against two Emperor-class members of the extraterritorial evil clan, whose strength was comparable to the human Do-Xian level. Even if it was just a residual soul, Xiao Yan couldn't afford to be careless. I recall this Immortal Emperor had deep ties with the Xiao clan, the Golden Dragon King remarked, watching Xiao Yan closely from above. A person's potential could only be fully unleashed through continuous battles at their limits, and this level of combat was the fastest way for Xiao Yan to improve. Moreover, the Golden Dragon King was eager to see just how far Xiao Yan's limits could be pushed. Upon hearing this, Xiao Yan made his move. A terrifying milky white flame instantly enveloped his body, and a massive wave of flame energy began to gather on the ancient ruler of heavenly flames behind him. At the same time, Long Yi materialized from the ancient ruler. It was clear that, facing the mighty Immortal Emperor, Xiao Yan was taking no chances. Roar! Long Yi's powerful dragon roar reverberated through the entire hall. So, this little one has a weapon spirit. But why does your ruler give me a sense of familiarity? The Immortal Emperor murmured, lost in thought. Xiao Yan gripped the ancient ruler of heavenly flames tightly, with Long Yi circling around it. There was no doubt that once Xiao Yan launched his attack, its power would be far more devastating than ever before. In the past, Xiao Yan would compress his own power within the ruler, unleashing its terrifying destructive force. But things were different now. With Long Yi receiving permission from the Golden Dragon King, Xiao Yan's attack would now carry Long Yi's power as well, amplifying its strength even further. Terrifying energy surged around Xiao Yan's body. The next moment, his black pupils shut tightly, and an immensely powerful soul wave rippled outward. Netherworld heavenly wrath. Xiao Yan's eyes snapped open as he shouted, his voice booming. The terrifying soul attack shot toward the Immortal Emperor. Just as the soul attack reached the Immortal Emperor, he casually waved his hand. Who would have thought it would be a rare soul attack? The Immortal Emperor remarked. But our power gap is far too vast. Otherwise, I might have been caught off guard. With another wave of his hand, Xiao Yan's fearsome soul attack halted instantly. First layer of the seven-layered Skybreaker ruler. Xiao Yan's voice roared through the grand hall. A massive surge of fiery energy erupted from the ancient ruler of heavenly flames. In the blink of an eye, under Xiao Yan's control, it shot toward the Immortal Emperor with overwhelming force. First layer of the Skybreaker. The terrifying shout echoed through the hall as Xiao Yan grasped the ruler with both hands, swinging it fiercely in the direction of the Immortal Emperor. A wave of destructive fire energy, entwined with Long Yi's presence, hurled itself toward the Immortal Emperor with a fury that could obliterate anything in its path. Yet, the Immortal Emperor did not make any effort to block the attack. He allowed Xiao Yan's assault to land directly on his body. Boom, boom, boom. The gigantic flame-covered ruler crashed violently into the Immortal Emperor, the intense heat flooding the hall. Explode! Xiao Yan commanded in a low voice. Instantly, the massive ruler aura locked in a stalemate with the Immortal Emperor erupted in a fiery explosion, unleashing a towering wave of flame energy. The next moment, from the center of the explosion, an intensely dazzling golden light emerged. Haha, you've got some decent moves for a youngster. If it were an ordinary 5-star Do-Di, they probably wouldn't have been able to withstand this attack, the Immortal Emperor said with a slow smile. Damn it, Xiao Yan muttered under his breath. As powerful as the seven-layered Skybreaker ruler was, Xiao Yan hadn't had the time to train in the second and third layers, having been caught up in both the points plundering tournament and his induction into the super sects. Based on his calculations, Xiao Yan should now be able to grasp the second and third layers of the Skybreaker ruler. However, he had noticed that the first layer was no longer enough to deal with the enemies he faced. After all, most of the opponents Xiao Yan encountered now were stronger than him. Even when facing someone at the level of a 5-star Do-Di, Xiao Yan was confident in his ability to fight them on even ground. The only problem was his defense. If he couldn't defeat them in one strike, His lack of defensive strength would lead to failure. That was what frustrated Xiao Yan the most. Though your soul attack and weapon strike were well coordinated, your overall strength is still too weak, the Immortal Emperor said. If that's all you have, then you may as well leave now, he finished, his voice carrying an overwhelming pressure. Damn it, Xiao Yan murmured. Is there no other way? He grasped the ancient ruler of heavenly flames in his right hand and raised his left hand to slowly stroke his forehead, where something seemed to be stirring beneath the surface. What kind of Do technique was that which the senior just used? Xiao Yan wondered inwardly. Clearly, the dazzling golden light the Immortal Emperor had unleashed earlier had made Xiao Yan feel as insignificant as an ant. He also realized that ever since the Immortal Emperor had displayed that radiant golden light, his own attacks had felt as though they were striking an unbreakable stone. This left Xiao Yan helpless. He was confident that even with his current strength, he should have been able to leave at least a small mark on the Immortal Emperor. Yet, for some reason, the golden light the Immortal Emperor had used to defend against his seven-layered Skybreaker ruler felt like an unstoppable force. Kid, I sense that your flames aren't ordinary, the Immortal Emperor remarked. But since you've come this far, there's no harm in telling you. The Immortal Emperor chuckled, clearly impressed by Xiao Yan's sharp instincts. He could tell that Xiao Yan was curious about the golden light he had displayed. That was my famous Do technique, the Immortal Golden Body. The Immortal Emperor's calm words exploded in Xiao Yan's mind like a thunderclap. The Immortal Emperor. Immortal Golden Body. Xiao Yan's thoughts were in turmoil. He remembered his master, the Golden Dragon King, had once explained this technique to him. The Immortal Emperor's signature Do technique was the Immortal Golden Body. Its terrifying nature earned it the reputation of being second to none beneath the level of Do D. Though the Immortal Golden Body had no offensive capabilities, it was even more desirable than the most powerful attacks. The Immortal Golden Body was a Do technique focused solely on defense. Though the Immortal Golden Body had no clear ranking, it was undoubtedly at the Saint class level, and its rank within that class was certainly not low. The Immortal Emperor. Immortal Golden Body. The Immortal Emperor reached the pinnacle of Do D by relying on this Immortal Golden Body, and with it, he was able to withstand the attacks of two Emperor-class extraterritorial evil clan members, whose strength rivaled that of Do Xian. The Immortal Golden Body, an ultimate defensive technique, the Golden Dragon King explained slowly. It instantly solidifies the user's body, making them as unyielding as iron. Moreover, it forms a terrifying defensive shield around the user. When the Immortal Golden Body is activated, the user's defense increases fivefold. Fivefold defense. Xiao Yan took a deep breath, staring in awe at the unassuming man before him. He knew exactly what it meant to have his defense increased fivefold. Take Xiao Yan's current situation. If he focused solely on defense and did not attack, even a late 4-star Do D would have trouble defeating him. But with a fivefold boost in defense, Xiao Yan was confident that even the full force attack of a perfect 6-star Do D would feel like a mere scratch. In the Do Chi continent, Xiao Yan's cultivation focused heavily on explosive close combat techniques, aiming for a decisive strike. His defense had always been a secondary concern. However, on the Do D continent, Xiao Yan quickly realized that without powerful defensive techniques, it was incredibly difficult to overcome stronger opponents. He had learned plenty of offensive techniques and Do techniques, so there was no need to worry about that. What he lacked now was a proper defensive method. If he could solve this issue, Xiao Yan was confident he could defeat opponents of higher ranks without a problem. After all, in terms of sheer power, Xiao Yan feared no one. But defense, that was his greatest weakness. No wonder the Immortal Emperor, at the peak of Do D, was able to hold off two Emperor-class extraterritorial evil clan members who were as strong as Do Xian, Xiao Yan murmured to himself, his voice filled with awe and respect for this mighty figure who had ultimately fallen. Immortal Golden Body. Truly a remarkable technique, Xiao Yan muttered, smiling as he raised his hand slightly, no longer concealing the mark on his forehead. Skyfire 3 Mysterious Changes. The silent chant echoed through the hall. In an instant, Xiao Yan's strength surged, rapidly reaching the level of a perfect 4-star Do D. At the same time, An intense wave of energy emanated from the mark on his forehead. This aura, the Immortal Emperor said slowly, his gaze fixed on the mysterious rune on Xiao Yan's forehead. Are you of the Xiao clan? For the first time, the Immortal Emperor, who had remained calm and composed, was visibly shaken. A tremendous power erupted from the Immortal Emperor, filling the hall, but he quickly shook his head and looked again at the mark on Xiao Yan's forehead. After confirming his suspicions, he said, "The Xiao clan? To think there are still descendants left?" Xiao Yan could detect a complex emotion in the Immortal Emperor's voice, one he couldn't quite identify. "Senior, I apologize," Xiao Yan said, clenching his fists. Just as he was about to launch another attack, he saw the Immortal Emperor gesture for him to stop. "Wait," the Immortal Emperor said slowly. Xiao Yan, unsure of what the Immortal Emperor intended, hesitated. He had activated his clan mark based on the advice of his master, the Golden Dragon King, who was still observing the situation with a nonchalant attitude. Xiao Yan felt a bit helpless. It seemed the Golden Dragon King would only intervene if Xiao Yan's life was in real danger. Xiao Yan was puzzled. He certainly didn't think that even with his Skyfire 3 mysterious changes, which boosted his power to the perfect 4-star Do-D level, he could stand against the Immortal Emperor. "Are you truly of the Xiao clan?" the Immortal Emperor murmured, still doubtful despite the presence of Xiao Yan's clan mark. "I am indeed a member of the Xiao clan," Xiao Yan responded solemnly, staring at the Immortal Emperor. The Immortal Emperor's demeanor had shifted dramatically after seeing the mark on Xiao Yan's forehead. His previous indifference had been replaced with a more contemplative attitude. With a sharp sound, the Immortal Emperor's pupils flashed with a hint of confusion. In the next moment, he appeared right in front of Xiao Yan. With a simple motion of his index finger across Xiao Yan's arm, a clear wound appeared, and 3 drops of blood flowed directly into the Immortal Emperor's palm. "Hiss!" Xiao Yan winced at the sudden pain, his voice betraying his discomfort. But he watched the Immortal Emperor carefully, unsure of what this powerful figure was trying to do. More troubling was the overwhelming pressure that bore down on Xiao Yan when the Immortal Emperor approached, a suffocating weight from a peak Do-D that nearly crushed him. Only after the Immortal Emperor withdrew did Xiao Yan's complexion return to normal. Xiao Yan quickly activated his Do-Chi, and the wound on his arm healed almost instantly. The 3 drops of blood now floated before the Immortal Emperor, who sniffed them with great focus. "It seems you truly are from the Xiao clan," the Immortal Emperor said with a smile. The invisible pressure that had weighed down on Xiao Yan disappeared completely, replaced by an aura of warmth. Xiao Yan even felt a gentle energy emanating from the Immortal Emperor, and his Do-Chi greedily absorbed the golden light surrounding him. "I have a deep connection with your Xiao clan. Meeting a descendant of the Xiao clan now, I suppose it's time to repay the kindness your clan once showed me," the Immortal Emperor said slowly. "This?" Xiao Yan was stunned. The Immortal Emperor actually had ties to the Xiao clan. Although Xiao Yan had always suspected that his master, the Golden Dragon King, knew something about his family's history on the Do-D continent, the Golden Dragon King had always avoided discussing it. Even without his master's confirmation, Xiao Yan knew that the Xiao clan was a colossal force on this continent, an existence that undoubtedly had many enemies, both overt and covert. This was why his master had always warned him only to use the Xiao clan's clan mark as a last resort. After all, the enemies of the Xiao clan were likely far beyond what Xiao Yan could handle at his current level. "Would you like to know more?" the Immortal Emperor asked, his tone now completely different from the cold indifference he had shown earlier. His voice was filled with affection, almost as if Xiao Yan were his own descendant. "Yes," Xiao Yan responded without hesitation. There were many things that could only be learned when one had the strength to handle them. His master, the Golden Dragon King, had chosen to remain silent, but it seemed the Immortal Emperor knew quite a bit, and Xiao Yan was eager to learn more about his clan. "Many people know me as the Immortal Emperor, but few know of my origins. I was born in a small, weak village on the Xinling continent, and my parents died when I was young. At that time, I was merely a 6-star dosheng. With no attachments, I set out to travel the continent, both to train and to see the world beyond my village. For decades, I journeyed across the 4 great continents of the Dodi continent, and eventually, on the Tianqing continent, I discovered a sacred flame at a place called Endless Horizon. The immortal sacred flame, the immortal emperor said slowly. The immortal sacred flame. Xiao Yan's pupils constricted. Ranked 18th on the sacred flame ranking, possessing terrifying immortal powers. Xiao Yan remained silent, not wanting to interrupt the immortal emperor, but his heart was racing with shock. I was the only one to discover the immortal sacred flame at that time. By sheer coincidence, no one else was there. By then, I had already reached the peak 8-star Do-D level, and with my pride and confidence in my immortal golden body, I decided to claim the sacred flame for myself. So, I prepared for 10 days and nights at Endless Horizon before attempting to draw the sacred flame into my body. But I underestimated its power, and in the process, my physical body was destroyed, and my soul was locked in a desperate struggle against the immortal sacred flame. I was on the brink of death. Just when I had lost all hope, a great figure from your Xiao clan, Xiao Yan, appeared. Using his Do Xian level strength, he managed to subdue the immortal sacred flame. Xiao Yan was truly a remarkable figure. After he subdued the flame, it ultimately chose me as its master. Xiao Yan, without the slightest hint of resentment, even helped me reform my physical body and gifted me the immortal sacred flame. Then, he left without a second thought. The immortal emperor's voice was filled with emotion as he recounted the event. Xiao Yan's pupils constricted tightly once more, his face filled with disbelief. To willingly give up a sacred flame, even rarer than most heavenly flames, sacred flames were coveted treasures. His Xiao clan ancestor, Xiao Yan, had voluntarily given up such a powerful flame. No wonder the immortal emperor was so moved upon meeting a descendant of the Xiao clan. If someone had saved your life and then handed you a sacred flame, how could you ever forget such a kindness?